Happy Flosstube Friday, friends! My name is Kari. This is Tiger Lily Designs. Welcome to Flosstube episode number 31. Yay! Happy July 8th. If you're first time joining me, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much for coming back. Today, I've got some cross-stitch goodness for you. As always, I've got some whips from this week, 2 new projects you haven't seen any stitching on, or at least one you haven't seen stitching on ever, and one that hasn't been around for a hot minute or a long time, actually. Like it was my January 1st start. Anyway, 2 whips to show you. I also have a bucket of Christmas, continuing with the stitching in July. 2 things I'm showing you that are whips are not actually Christmas finishes, but when I was working in the studio, I found my bucket of Christmas finishes. And as I promised last week, Patrick reminded me because he watched my video and he said, you got to do more Christmas. And so I found my Christmas finishes bucket. So I pulled it out and that's what we're going to look at today. So hopefully maybe you find something that you want to start stitching here in Jolly July Stitching. And then I'll have a Project Keeper shop update at the end. So don't worry if you're not interested, you can skedaddle. But as you know, my Project Keepers release on the 15th every month. And so that is next Friday. And so they are knee deep in production right now. And I wanted to show you some of the great vintage stitchings that it's going to be featured in some of the keepers this collection. So without further ado, plus the giveaways. I've got giveaway winners from last week and 2 new giveaways for this week. There's my agenda. Don't have a list, so kind of running off the cuff, but we're going to go with it. So let's just dig right into the whips because that's fun. So I showed you guys last week that July 1st, so it's been a week, I started a new stitch along with my friend Sarah, and we do have a hashtag on Instagram. I'll put it right here. It's hashtag the Miss Lucy Sal, Miss Lucy Sal. And I think we've already got a couple of friends that are starting to get her up and join because this big girl is going to be around for a while. So this is in one of my Tiger Lily project keepers. I've got a keeper and then my floss keeper. So again, I showed you guys last week. Look at all the, so I've got it kitted up with DMC, the called for DMC. Sarah made me this cute little guide cheat sheet. It's a laminated card. It's got the symbol and the DMC. So that way I don't have to reference the back sheet. So handy. So I love that. Thank you. And then I've got my DMC all bombed up. There's 28 colors of DMC on this big girl, but let me show you the cover photo. Hold on, let me close it up so I don't show you the pattern because it's one of those not spiral bound, but staple bound, beautiful pattern on the inside, full color, nice and big, no glasses. I mean, I use glasses to stitch, but you don't need it to try to read like what goes where. Anyway, Miss Lucy Calcutt, and the designer is just stitching along and she's a beast, but I love her. So her size is 281 by 380. Woo-wee. So I told you guys last week, I've got my project information card just to give me a little bit more of the details for you. I'm using all the called for, so I don't have any substitution threads noted. I'm using 18 count covered bridge Ada from LFA linens that you can get from TreeHouse Fiber Arts. I will link them all down below, but the fabric is perfect. The 281 by 380 comes out to be a stitch count measure on 18 count. It's going to be 15.6 by 21.1. Like I said, she's a big girl. But without further ado, like I said, we started this on July 1st. It's Sarah's birthday, Sal. So I'm having so much fun doing it. Let me make sure I've got I cut the fabric so that I would always know that the salvage was on my right. So here is where I start. Oh, that is a perfect representation of the color. Looks a little green on the screen, but it is not green at all. It is this beautiful, mottled, yummy. I mean, covered bridge is such a great description. It's kind of like, I was going to say dirty, but it's not dirty. It's just yummy, weathered, worn. But this stitching, like as you can see, I've got a center start and she's coming along. And the DMC is stitching up perfect. Now, last week we talked about, because it's 18 count, and on the back of the chart, The designer notes she did 2 strands of thread on 36 count linen. And so I was struggling, because I hadn't started last week, whether I was going to do 2 strands of DMC on the Aida or 1 strand. So Sarah and I went back and forth a couple times, and we decided, I was going to do a poll, but we decided without you. We decided that 1 strand, because we're both using the LFA Aida covered bridge, gorgeous 18 count. Hold on, don't want to, can't really tell which is way yet. She'll come along. But we decided that 1 strand, the coverage was perfect. I mean, it's not full but it's not super bumpy either. So it's such a lovely stitch. It's so nice, and you don't have to worry about it getting thick in the holes with those 2 strands. And you know what I mean? So sometimes, even though I like a thick coverage, trying to put 4 strands into 1 hole gets a little tricky. And when the holes are this tight, it's an Aida problem. I don't know. Maybe it's all the stitching's problem. But anyway, so we decided we're stitching 1 strand. 1 strand over 1, because obviously it's Aida. And so that's where I've gotten so far. So I am going to she is going to stay out, hashtag goals. But it's kind of like 9 motifs, 10 if you count the bottom. So like if I do 1 motif a month, now that's hashtag goals. Like, because this is 280 by 380. So this is a big girl. So if I say like 1 motif a month, 10 months, I don't know. I kind of just made that up sitting right here with you. It might be doable. Some months are going to be quicker than others. Like these 2 sides, that's super not as dense as this middle motif and the house. I've seen a couple of the finishes on Instagram, and the house is what gets you. Because the windows are not see-through. Yep, the windows are stitched too. You would think it'd be maybe see-through and it'd be more fabric, but it's not. It's a stitch window. But we'll see. So if you have any desire, or have Miss Calcutt maybe in your stash that you've been thinking, come and join us. We're in no hurry. She's gonna be around for a while, just like our Miss Mary was. Still is for me, really. She's so close, but she's not here this week. Hopefully next week or the week after. We'll see. July, as with all summer months, get a little busy, and what I want to do involves me charting again. So I know I charted, sorry for that loud car that went by. We charted a custom quote in the middle. So that was charted and done and stitched. But now what I want to do in a different area involves me charting again. And so it doesn't take that long. It just, anywho, sitting in front of the computer just doesn't sound like fun right now. Unless I have to do my day job. Anywho, so now let me show you another one that we haven't seen for a while, and I'm loving it. It was a stitch that, this was in one of my original project bags, vinyl front, and I love it. It is Gilmore Girls fabric. Any other Gilmore Girl junkies out there? Oh my gosh, that is Lily and I's guilty pleasure. I think we've watched the whole series like 3 times. We have goals to watch it maybe 1 more time before she leaves for school. Maybe. We'll see. That's a lot of TV time. But it was super fun for the winter. We started it again. Anyway, so what I've got in here was my January 1 start. And so, like I said, you've seen it before, but it's been a hot minute. And I wanted to show you, I brought her back out because I think I've found where she's going to go in the house. And so I gotta like stitch her now. Now it's giving me new motivation. So what this is the Lessons in Abecedarian Summer Schoolhouse series by Brenda Gervais. So she did it as little pillows. So there's that one, and then there's this one, and then this one. Sorry, the glare is crazy in front of my window. And then this one, right? So there's 5 little pillows. One of them had 2. So there's 4 charts, 5 pillows. But Sherri, Colorado cross stitcher, I saw her stitching this, and I had started this January 1 with the intentions of doing 5 pillows. Like, cool, awesome, let's do this. And so, but at some point, I watched her like store, hashtag goals to go to that store. So cute. She did like a store tour, and in it, she showed on the wall her finish, and she did her finish this way. So I totally was like, oh, yes. So instead of doing 5 pillows, it's all stitched up and beautiful on the sample on her wall in her store. But she did it in one long piece. So sorry for the loose threads, but that's, I think I was stitching on this last night. So it happens. So that is what I'm doing. I am stitching it as one long horizontal skinny piece, and it's going to be so fun. It's just a fun and funky sampler. It's on Picture This Plus Ren, and I've got the tag so I don't forget. Of course, it's a giant piece. 16 count Picture This Plus Ren from my local needlework shop in Stitches here in Mount Vernon. And it's a giant piece, and so I totally could cut it now that I'm going across. Thankfully, when I started on January 1 and I was going to do pillows anyway, I did it, the orientation, I did it so that it would work. And so I'm super excited. So the tricky thing is, though, let's just talk about if you wanted to do this. And of course, I didn't notice this until I'm sitting down and stitching. Oh, hold on a minute. Okay, so you see this flower border in the house, so this is pillow 1, right? And then this border is the start of pillow 2. So let me just show you, just in case this is, like I said, in case this is something you wanted to do, I want, you to be prepared for a little bit of a challenge. It's not hard. It's just, sometimes counting and math and thinking through, and I just want you to plan appropriately if you want to go there. Okay, so the first one, I can't show you the chart, but the first one is 103 squares, 103 high, okay? So from the top to the bottom of the bird and the border, 103. Okay, perfect. Didn't pay attention. The second one, I just looked at it. Hold on, let me take it out of the, so we don't have to worry about the glare. Okay, so you just looked at it and I was like, oh, look, great. The little grass, which is a 3-strand satin stitch, kind of just runs right along the bottom. Perfect. The flower borders, perfect. They line up. Those are the same. Cool. Stitch it away. Okay, but what I didn't realize until I was sitting down stitching one night this week is that, see the flowers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers, and then it swoops over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it swoops over to the left. So, like I told you, 103 was the height of pillow 1. 90 is the height of pillow 2. So 13 is a big difference. It's basically one of those rows of flowers. So, like I said, can't show you the pattern. So I am tweaking it. So 1, 2, 3, and there's going to be 4, and then this is why. So I am raising the roof on pillow number 2, and I'm going to have to kind of like do an adaptation. So I need to go up 13 inches so that it runs level and parallel across the whole thing. So I didn't notice that. I went back and I looked at the color, like the one on the wall, her wall, she actually didn't even stitch the satin stitching. So I'm just making her my own. I just wanted you to know it's not super just like do it, but it's not hard. I'm just finagling. I haven't even looked to see what the next one, if lesson 3, if the height is 103 or if the height is 90, I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'll figure it out when I get there. Right now I'm working on lesson 2. I still have some lesson 1 empty because there's supposed to be flowers right along this, but it was a floss that I cannot find. Wood rose, cannot find it. And all the places that I ordered, it's always on my check it, add it to the cart if you're buying from somewhere, and I just can't find it. So that's why I just moved on. Eventually, it'll pop up. So that is my hot mess. And I'm using all the called for flosses. Super pretty. They look great on this Picture This Plus Ren. I love this. The modeling on this. And of course, Picture This Plus is a nice soft. So 16 count. So I'm using 2 strands. There we go. So those are what I worked on this week. It was so much fun. Let me move my hot mess over to the side so we can move right along. Okay, hold on. there we go. Pile over there. Great. So let's just go right into the giveaways just since they're next in the pile. I had 2 giveaways from last week, so I've got the winners for this week. Last week I showed you guys, so all of these are charts that were gifted to me from subscribers, and they want to pass the stash, and so I'm super excited and thank you for sharing. I do want to thank so subscribe. I have a buy me a coffee link down below that I use to use for postage to mail these winnings out. And so I'm so excited I can have another giveaway today because I've got postage. So thank you, Laura. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for your donation to the buy me a coffee link. It just helps me do the postage and things with the channel. So I'm super excited about it. And so without further ado, the winners from last week, this was a pattern by Lucy Calcutt. So cute. We're sticking with the Christmas theme because, you know, Christmas, July, and stitching Christmas in July. So the keyword was creature, and I did the random comment generator, and our winner is Ann_craft all the things. Love your channel name. Oh my goodness. Craft all the things. Yes. Maybe you and I are soul sisters and we don't know, but congratulations. So if you're a winner, my information is down below. So send me an email and say, hi, my name is, and I won, and give me your mailing address, and I will get this out in the mail to you pronto. And then the second winner was a pattern. It was called Believe Always. Such a sweet, this is a almost kitted. It's got the charms and the banding and the pattern. So you just add the floss. So the winner, the word was believe, and the winner is Barbara Collins Miller. Congratulations, Barbara. So again, reach out to me and let me know, and I'll get those off to you. So sticking with the Christmas theme, I went into my giveaway box and I pulled out 2 more Christmas themed stitches that I thought this would be fun. Maybe you'll get them. It's only the 8th, so, and I'll get them out. If you reach out, you'll have them in time before July. So let's get her done. One of them is Frost on the Pumpkin. It's from Stitching Kitty. Such a sweet little snowman. I know it's not Christmas, but it's winter and themed, and so we went with it. Such a sweet little pattern. It's 77 by 154. Such a sweet pattern. And the other one is by the designer Little Rip. Oh, use the word frost in your comment. If you want to win the giveaway, you want to make sure you're a subscriber to the channel, that you like the video, and you use the keyword in your comment. And that is how I use the random comment picker to pull my winners. And so you want to use the word frost. If you want to win this one, use the word frost. And the other pattern is Little River, and this one's called Smell the Gingerbread. Oh my gosh, gingerbread is one of my favorite. We used to make gingerbread houses with the kids when they were little, like all the things. We would do a little neighborhood party, and there would be like 15 kids at my dining room table, and it looked like, you know, that bulk candy aisle when you were little, and you go down like those big barrels with the plastic. Anyway, candy galore. So it was so much fun. Smell the Gingerbread. Such a sweet little pattern. Look at those little gingerbread people. They are adorable, girls and boys. This one measures 85 by 15. That can't be right. 85 wide by 151. 151. The font is kind of tricky. So I thought it said 15th, but it's 151H. Tricky reading. So that makes more sense though. Smell the gingerbread. So I want you to use the word gingerbread, all one word. And so if you want to win that one. Okay, so there's the giveaways. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, we're chugging right along. So let's get into, like I said, I went into the storage room of Tiger Lily and I pulled out, so this is my bucket of, I don't have a system yet. Okay, so we'll just work with me. I don't have a system yet, but what this is in this bucket is all my Christmas winter themed fully finished projects that I will pull out. And I've told y'all before, I decorate on That'd be crazy. November 1st is when Christmas comes and explodes in my house, or at least that's when the bins come up from the basement and we start the fun. So that's when this one will come out. We'll start to put things away. So I just wanted to show you some of the finishes. Unfortunately, as I told y'all before, I wasn't super awesome in the beginning of tracking like what I used to stitch. What's it called for? What's the fabric? What's the this? Because that was before I had my project information cards that I now have. I'm still looking for my cute little recipe box. So they're 4x6 and they're going to be perfect, but I've got my finish that I've used already from Mania and so they're stacked to ready to go. So I will be able to reference going forward, but we're just going to have to work together to see if I can remember. This is the test of my memory. Let's see how I do. So on top, because it's the biggest one, is Glad Tidings. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not what the chart is called. Pickles. I should have looked. I don't remember exactly what the chart is called, but you see what it is. Do you know the designer is one of my favorites? Hello from Liz Matthews. It's a beautiful snowflake, and it is stitched on a dyed by me 14 count, but it's a tight stitch because like I told you, it's hand dyed by me. So it almost went down to like a 16 or even 18 because it was so tight when I dyed it. It's a Rit dye. If you go back to a couple of my videos or even on Instagram, it will tell you like which colors of Rit dye I used. So you might have to do a little digging if you wanted to, but it was a combination of 2 different Rit dye colors to get that fun, funky modeling. Love this stitch so much. It's a 1 color monochromatic stitches. I need another one of those in my whip basket like pronto, because sometimes you just don't want to change colors. Do you feel me? Sometimes I don't. So I love this one. It is Silks for You cream white silk. I do know that because I went and bought a hank of it and I still have oodles of it left, and that is my go-to creamy white color that I use in lots of my stitching. It's a beautiful, beautiful floss. So this pattern, like I said, is from Hello from Liz Matthews. I will link her. She's got an Etsy shop where you can buy it at your LNS or lots of people. Like I said, I don't think it's called Glad Tidings. I will see if I can find it and put the name of the pattern down below. But you see, it's like a Quaker snowflakey thing. That might be what it's called. Pickles. Anyway, fun. The next one in my bucket, I promise not all the fabric's blue, but this is a sweet little Artful offerings. Beautiful. She's got some great stitches, great designs, super easy. And if you know me, or if you've been watching me, you know me and Cardinals, we're like best buds. Love them. I have a pair of cardinals that live in my backyard right now. The silly squirrels keep eating all their bird food. I got to figure out how to like do all that, but I love them. They're here every day they come visit. So this is an Artful Offerings pattern. It's stitched. This was a picture of this plus fabric for sure. And that's all I'm going to remember. Okay. This is another one that's been around for a while. This is a Teresa Colgate pattern. Loved this one. You can still get this on her Etsy shop. And I finished this. This is on a 5x7 frame, but then it was one of those thick, chunky frames. And so I kind of inset it on top rather than putting it inside the frame. And then some pics from Walmart. I think I finished this sometime last winter. So you might be able to get the details on this one back, if you go back into the Instagram a little bit. This is another sweet one. So this one was stitched and finished in this last holiday. This was a Satsuma Street pattern. It's actually a sampler. It has all these little tiny things, and I actually have it still in my whip pile, so maybe you'll see it next week. But I just took the NOEL words. Like I said, I think they were in the middle squares. And so I stitched those across here. This is a hand-dyed by Kari, Rit purpley fabric, Ada. Finished it on this board that I thrifted. Put some fabric, sticky board, rickrack, buttons, and there she is. So she's a cute little shelf sitter. That's why I like those little board finishes because they just sit right there on the shelf. So actually this one, she doesn't sit as well. Got a little bit of an edge. Oh, here's another sitter. This is another, that board set was the set of like 4 letters. I think it said baby on it, like in the home decor area of the thrift store. And I was like, oh yes, that's perfect. So this one, I think this was my March Mania finish. I need to do better about charting. Like I said, my project information cards, I think, are going to help me with that. Let me ruche up my bow a little bit. I got a little smooshed. But oh my goodness, this was a Barbara Anna Designs. This is a pattern that, like I said, this is from Stitch March Mania. I'm pretty sure that this was the winner of March Mania. And so it went all the way through the bracket system thing that we did in March. So fun. And so this is a Barbara Anna Designs called for inspired. It did not use called for. I kind of like stole from Stash. For the colors, I tried to stay true-ish, but I definitely added like a mauve silk for the brown and the reds. I wanted some of the variegations. I think she charts it all in DMC. So I wanted a little bit of variegations. So I grabbed from Stash some of the colors so I could get some of that. This is on a die by Patrick 14 count. I think this was the wine. So he did a huge birthday dip die for me in January. We used wine and Kool-Aid and cranberry juice and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I have some beautiful colors. So this was, I think, wine. And this was a Barbara Anna Designs. I think it's in the Needle, Punch Needle and Primitive magazines. You might be able to buy it separately now, but that's what that is. And this was a finish from last fall as well. I remember stitching this on vacation, Labor Day weekend down in Florida. Who doesn't stitch Santas when you're on the beach? Yes, that's what I did. And I loved it. It was on a pink Rit dyed 14 count. And I switched up the floss. I think it's Buckeye Scarlet. Pretty sure, because I just loved the variegation on that Santa, and it popped on this pink fabric. Again, this is one of those shelf sitter frames in that it was an 8x10 frame that I got at Hobby Lobby. I painted it, distressed it, put some fabric on the inside. So this board, clearance fabric or clearance frame. Yes, please. So this is got the fabric on the background and then it's sticky board right on top. And this was just like one of those in the Christmas sections. It was an ornament. I popped off the ornament tag and hot glued it right on there. So cute. So I've got that shelf sitter. So I love those frames that just have a nice chunky bottom and you can add those. And so last but not least is my few little ornaments for Christmas. The finishes, let me just show you. Okay, I don't have favorites, but if I did, this would be one. So this was during Flossmas Christmas. So when I did my daily videos during December, I'm super excited. I'm gonna try to do that again this year. But I found the French Giraffe is the name of this Etsy shop. She's got Santas from all the different countries. Oh my goodness. And Patrick and I went and took a trip to Ireland. 2018. And so I had to do the Irish Santa. And so I loved him. And this was finished by me. This was some cording, some sticky board, a little bow, a little shamrock. Finished that one. This was a freebie from the Laurel Witch, which is she's on Instagram. I don't know if she has an Etsy shop or it might be her own website, but she's on Instagram. Most of her things are kind of like witchy themed, but she had this whole like Christmas Advent thing. And so I'm pretty sure that's where I got this cardinal, and it's stitched up real fast. It was just on a coffee tea dye. And again, I did a little disc finish. It was my first time using my little Krynic cord tool maker. It wasn't bad. And then these two also are during Flossmas. Again, their bows need a little ruching, but okay. And I've told this story, so let's just not look over there. This is my dog. Just newsflash, bulletin. Let me tell you, sometimes your dogs will take the ornaments off your trees because they think they're candy or a cookie. I don't know, but that's what That's what that is. That's a little Dabo special on there. But this is a cute, it's Salt and Pepper Stitching. She's on Etsy and Instagram. This was a Santa. It was a bigger thing. There was more accoutrement surrounding the Santa, but I wanted just the Santa in the ornament on a pink dyed 14 count Aida board finish. So it's a board on the front, board on the back, then another board, and the wooden beads, bow, doodah, all the things. Similar finish. This is the Humble Stitcher, an Americana Santa. So cute. Again, board, rickrack, coffee dyed Aida, stitching. So cute. Okay, so that is my Christmas finishes so far. And I hope you enjoyed that. So I am going to go ahead and grab all the things to just do a quick little shop update, little teaser. If you've had your eye on a pattern or a project keeper, let me show you what's coming up next week. All right, friends. So I went and grabbed 3 trays. So next week, I'm going to show you guys my studio craft. So my table's on wheels now. Yay! It is not ready for its debut to you. It's only half built. But oh my goodness, it is fantastic. So it's a custom built by Patrick and I in the garage workshop, getting her done with the saw and the things and the do. So I organized my projects on these baker trays. They're for bakeries and they measure 18 by 26, but it's just a way for me to keep all these different things organized rather than just spread on top of tables on top of tables. So anyway, I went and I grabbed 3 of the trays. This week, July 15th, they are still gonna go up live on the 15th. So that is not changing this month. Next Friday, 1 p.m., they will go live. We'll see when my video comes out next week. It might be after the sale. It might be Thursday. We'll see how it goes. But I'm still shooting for 30. It might be 25. We'll just have to see. But I've got some of them to show you. Lots of vintage stitches. Goodness. Oh my goodness. So this is an Allison glass fabric. Oh my gosh, I have so much fun trying to coordinate the fabrics with the stitching. So that is a fun one. And the insides, oh my gosh, the insides of that are so fun. Allison glass. And then same linen. This table linen was great. So maybe that's a little too wild and funky for you. You're more of a floor. So this floral fabric by Moda, loved it. It coordinates so well. That tablecloth was gorgeous. So I was able to get, I don't know, a couple out of there. So this stack is one of a kind, truly one of a kind, in that they were vintage pillowcases. And so sometimes, you know, with table linens, I can get sometimes 4, maybe 6, maybe 8 if it's like a giant rectangle tablecloth. Or if it's just a vintage stitching like pillowcase, just the trim, it's a one and done, like truly one and done. So look at this. This one is so pretty. Such a subtle blue. I matched it with this rifle paper fabric. Gorgeous. Love that one. This is just a one and done pillowcase. Look at the roses. Can you even? Love that. And I know this isn't that exciting, but let me just show you. Just the work. Look at the flower basket. Oh my goodness. The stitching on this flower basket are just, I love it. I love it. I love it. And then last but not least is a fun one that I was like, oh, this is super fun for summertime and all the things. And if you can see, got any idea what the theme is? Oh, cherries. So I got this vintage stitching. These were napkins, like stitched up. I mean, would you ever wipe your mouth? Like use a napkin with stitching on it? I guess they were just gonna look pretty. I don't know. But I had 4 napkins. So I got 4 cherry stitches. And then I put this beautiful madras, and then there's cherries on the inside. And there's more cherries on the inside. So there's going to be 4 cherry themed. Oh my gosh. So this, I'm loving it. So much fun. So I just wanted to show you, again, that was only a handful. There's going to be some that don't have vintage stitching. I dug into my vintage Amy Butler fabric. So we've got some good ones of those. Working on some rainbow patchworks. Those were super popular last month. So I have hopefully another set of those coming. And then just some odds and ends. So like I said, the Project Keeper release for July is coming next week, July 15th at 1 p.m. There's your little sneak peek. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope maybe you found a Christmas stitching that you need to add to your whip pile so that you have it in time to display for December. But otherwise, I will see you next week, friends. Happy stitching.